Guess who's back?
Back again.
The cults are back. But don't tell a friend.
Don't tell any friends.
Because on today's episode of Consumed by Grace with your host, I'm Pastor Henry.
And I'm Pastor Brooke. And what are we talking about today?
We are talking about multi-level marketing and the way that some of them use cultish language and how some of them cross the line from side hustle business to possibly a cult.
Yeah.
At minimum, shady and very illegal.
Yeah, unethical.
Unethical, very, very much so.
And the innocent people that get caught up in it.
The innocent people who get caught up in that, it's interesting reading some of Amanda Montell's Cultish book. I didn't specifically grab a quote from this section, but the religious world, the Christian religious world specifically, although you do see this a little bit in some of your Eastern religions as well that have made its way over here, multi-level marketing flourishes.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
In fact, do you know what state has the most multi-level marketing companies centered there?
If you say Alabama.
I wouldn't. Thankfully, it's not Alabama.
Okay. I don't know.
It is Utah.
Okay. I want to be surprised by that, but I'm kind of not.
Not because what Utah, for those of you who may not know, is the center of the Mormon Church, and what are the Mormon Church?
Literally what they're trained to do.
They are known for being excellent missionaries.
That's right. Yes.
They might even find themselves going to Orlando.
We'll let you figure that one out for yourself. It'll be a fun little...
Yeah. So, Brooke, tell us a little bit about what... So, I'm using this term multi-level marketing, assuming everyone knows what that is.
Sure, yeah. Well, and you may have heard of multi-level marketing and you sort of know what that is, or you've heard something talked about on the news about what multi-level marketing is. But essentially, it is, sales.
Yes.
You are in sales when you join a multi-level marketing company, and it is exactly how it sounds. You come in under a person. That person is likely serving under one other person on a team of people. They love to call them teams. That person is under another person. It's literally a trickle effect till you get to the very top where that person is who's actually making all the money.
Yes. And so some of the different names, you see multi-level marketing, you see network marketing, you see relationship marketing, but also direct sales. I remember I'd heard about this growing up, and then I had this experience early in my church life with Cutco. Cutco, for any of you who aren't familiar with that, they sell cutlery.
Yeah.
They all these different products, and a lot of times what they do is they go on to college campuses to recruit young college students who are trying to pay their way to go be their salespeople. And specifically, they say, hey, go to your friends, host these events, trying to get them to buy our products.
Yes. I have some Cutco knives, actually.
I don't have any knives, but I have a can opener and a cutting board because I had to get something.
You got to have something.
I wasn't going to turn the gentleman away.
That's right. Yeah. And usually you have to...
Ding, ding. Think about what I just said there.
That's right. Usually you have to buy your way into these companies.
A lot of times you do. You have you come in and you are forced, literally forced to buy all the product that you're going to get. Some of these companies are historic, and they're you almost wouldn't know what your life was. How many of us had... most likely it was our moms, but every now and again there's something different. But how many of our parents went to a Tupperware party or a Avon or Mary Kay. My mom sold both of them
Yep.
for various different
Yep.
times. Now, for the most part, she did that just because she was buying what she wanted anyway.
That's right.
I know several people, and to me, that's the healthier side of the MLM, that they give people a chance to buy products that they want.
Yeah. My stepmom sold Mary Kay, and I can remember being a little kid and going and getting in the stack, like the cases of makeup, and playing with those little makeup samples. And I would get in so much trouble because that was how she sold her product.
Yeah. I remember, like, for me personally, for several years, I had really bad acne as a young teen, and Mary Kay and Avon had some of the best face scrubs.
Avon Skin So Soft is the best bug repellent you have ever had in your life.
I have forgotten about that, but yet you're absolutely right.
Good. Yeah.
So those are some of the healthy things, and yet there's a shadow side to these, because what they don't tell you is, from those who have done studies on this, 99% of people who are recruited to sell MLMs never make a dime. And the ones who make money, they're not making money off of the people like that they're selling things to. They're making it off the people that they recruit.
That's right. Yep. And they do that oftentimes under the guise of, hey, if you can recruit so many people, here's an incentive for you, and it's always something really fancy and good, like a cruise or a trip to Hawaii. But
anybody remember the pink Cadillacs?
The pink Cadillac, they're out there.
They are out there.
I would like to have a pink Cadillac, please.
If something happens, like, you get to have it. Yes, I will give you the one if I ever win a pink Cadillac.
I don't want actually a pink Cadillac. Like, I want like a pink, like, souped up Hummer.
You want a pink Jeep Wrangler.
A pink Jeep Wrangler that has pink rims on giant tires, like rugged Barbie.
I was about to say, we've just described the Barbie Jeep.
The Barbie Jeep. Can I have the Barbie Jeep? That's exactly right. That's what I want, is a Barbie Jeep that's pink.
You never know where our brains are going to go on these kinds of things. The interesting thing about MLMs is really they have become masters at using language to get you hooked and then to keep you there as long as they can. More often than not, unless you just find a product that you love and that they're doing it right. And again, some are doing it right, doing it well. Some have their products in stores. They just also do this. But other than that, most people, they end up leaving.
Yeah.
And they end up never having made a dime off of that.
Yeah. And in fact, they probably lost money because they had to invest in the beginning.
And it's one of the specific quotes from Amanda Montell is, in the end, MLMs aren't in the business of selling startup ventures to entrepreneurs. Like most destructive cults, in air quotes, they're in the business of selling the transcendent promise of something that doesn't actually exist. And their commodity isn't merchandise, it's rhetoric. I thought that was so interesting. The product is almost irrelevant at that. Can they get you hooked?
Yeah.
In believing the story?
Yeah. And something that, all cult leaders do. We've talked about this in past episodes. They're really good at selling a story.
Yes.
They're really good at that. And so it's easy to maybe miss some things when you are, approached about joining an MLM.
Yeah. Yeah, and what's super interesting, again, why sometimes our religiosity ends up making us susceptible from this. I found that this was an interesting quote. Protestant reformers, especially French theologian John Calvin, conceived of the idea that God plays a role not just in human beings' spiritual successes and failures, but also in our financial ones. This idea helped create the Protestant work ethic marked by diligent work, individual effort, and accumulation of wealth, which aligned perfectly with Europe's emerging capitalist economy, which we've based basically incorporated wholesale. And so it has given rise to what a lot of us term like hustle culture.
Oh, yeah.
You're trying to get ahead. You have to do that all the time. And where multi-level marketing comes in is it creates this idea of you are running your own business. And it's getting you to leverage your influence, your relationships, your free time to sell this product, even though when you come down to it, they're making money off of what you buy, not what you sell.
Yeah, yeah. So I was trying to think this morning, Henry, about have I ever been a part of an MLM? Because I've done things in the past, like sold different things in the past, and so I was thinking about that. But in listening to the I listened to this book, it counts.
It does.
As reading.
Audiobooks 100% count, especially as I think about us talking about a podcast.
100%.
On a podcast. Like
audiobooks count. We're just putting it out there.
Yes.
But I was listening to this book and I was thinking about the way that she was talking about all the different companies that fall under this MLM category. And I was thinking about, I used to sell Disney vacations. The company that I worked for was great. I was trying to figure out exactly how to articulate how I knew it was different than like maybe an Amway or maybe a doTERRA or the Herbalife or some of these other groups. And I was thinking it was really easy for me to quit.
Yeah.
When it came time that I was like, I don't have time for this. This was something I did on the side anyways.
Sure.
I did it as like a side hustle, as we say in air quotes. When it came time for, like, I was just too busy and I couldn't keep up with, the demands of having to take care of, people who trusted me with their vacations to go to Disney World, which I love.
Yeah.
When it came time for me to quit, all I had to do was say, hey, this has been so great and y'all have been so lovely and I'm too busy and I need to sort of step away from this. And the company that I worked for, the travel agency that I worked for, said, great, we have loved having you here. This has been so fun. If you want to come back, please do. Bye. I didn't sign I did sign a contract to work under them.
Sure.
Of course, they have to pay me and those kinds of things. But like, it was not like sorry, you're held captive here, or you have to pay us X amount of dollars to get out of this, or you have to meet a certain quota to continue to work here.
Sure.
I didn't, there was none of that. Like, those expectations were non-existent in a way. Whereas, like, hearing her describe different companies, like, you had to buy your way out of that, or you had to meet certain quotas, or you wasted every dollar that you invested in their product to be able to sell their product for them, and like just different things. That was sort of like what I was thinking about this morning, the difference between good MLM, bad MLM.
Yeah, like to me, the exemplar for a bad MLM is LuLaRoe. Because I remember, like, this would have been, Kelly and I had maybe been married a year or two when LuLaRoe started becoming a thing here. Yeah. And man, I remember these legging drops and these dress drops, and they were
it was a big deal.
Utterly insane.
Oh, yeah.
And, I'm a guy, I leggings, whatever, that's I can't say I have a whole lot of experience with leggings, so I can't talk about an expert. But then all of a sudden, like, you start, like, some of the people and her friends, Kelly just bought, she never sold or anything like that, but you start to, like, hear her friends talk about just different things they're struggling with being in this quote unquote business, and then you start reading about, like, the thousands of dollars that people are laying out, and that, you want to be a part of this new drop, well, you have to commit to buying, I'm just spitballing, I know I'm exciting, but you had to buy like 25.
Right.
To be able to even get the right to sell.
Oh, yeah.
Like you had to buy outright. And then you later start to hear about all the lawsuits and the deceptive practices. And some of those things some of that litigation is still ongoing.
Yeah. Well, and she talks about that in her in this book. Amanda Montell talks about how I think it was Amway that had like a lawsuit against them, and they won, which sort of set the bar for all of these other companies to be able to say, oh, we're not an MLM, we're not a Ponzi scheme
or a pyramid scheme,
like we're giving people an opportunity to be a business owner for themselves. And so, that it's because of that one lawsuit that was won in favor of MLMs, is sort of set the bar for every other MLM to come underneath.
Yeah, and basically they won because they were only fined $100,000.
Right.
And when you're a multi-million-dollar company,
correct,
$100,000 like most of us like writing a $10 check.
Right. Yeah. So, so that sort of gave permission to a lot of these companies to be able to do things like that, to be able to say, no, you have to work within these bad business practices in order to be a part of this company. But we're promising you the future. One of the quotes in here was, and it wasn't from, I can't remember the company, and it's gone now. It's not an active company anymore, but the man said, this was gaslighting in the form of inspiration. And I was like, yes, I can. Yes, that was the perfect description of what some of these companies and their practices are. They are gaslighting you in under the guise of inspiration that you can own the world.
Yes. Yeah, and again, there are the religious aspects of this, because when we get involved with something like this, you get involved with a church where, like, any concern, any kind of question is just shoved away with constant positivity, which is known as toxic positivity. Like, let those red flag antennas jump up, because this is not what it should be. Something is off a bit. Yeah,
she talks about love bombing as a part of their language to sort of influence you.
Love bombing and the way that they encourage you, and this has become one of the things we've really seen on the rise of social media. Because how many times have you gotten on social media, you're on Facebook and you get a message from that high school or that college person you haven't seen in 5 to 10 years. And it's like, oh, hey, you look great. Oh, hey, I was seeing you doing something this. Or like, hey, I was like, even one says, you're looking kind of tired in some of the photos I've seen. Do I have something that'll help you out? I can't tell you about it, but I'd love to schedule a phone call to be able to.
Yeah. She talks about, there's a company called Optavia in this book that she talks about. And let me tell you, in all full disclosure, I used to actually buy Optavia as like...
I hadn't heard of that one.
It's a diet program, really, is what it is. It's like, you remember Nutrisystem or Jenny Craig?
Okay.
Or it's just prepackaged meals that you follow some guidance about... how to eat and that kind of thing. Anyway, based on whatever your goals are and all that kind of thing. And but they talk about, and I don't know if you've ever paid attention on social media, you'll see people post picture like before and after pictures.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have a company name, a brand name. It just has a disclaimer at the bottom that says, based on this, XYZ plan, this person lost XYZ number of pounds, and that's all it says. Very vague. No, because they're not allowed to. The consultants or whatever you want to, salespeople for those companies, that is one of the rules of Optavia, is you are not allowed to say the company name.
Wow,
that's a problem.
That is.
Sorry.
Yeah,
like, if you can't say your own company name publicly on social media, red flag.
What are you trying to hide?
Like, what are we doing? Yeah. And, you know, it's just interesting to see, like you said, like, your friends, people you know that, you know, are a part of some of these groups.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
And you know, some of them, like one of the folks she shared about in the book, they're like, oh yeah, I absolutely knew what I was getting into. I knew this was
interesting.
This was culty and creepy, but I was like, you know what, I think I can handle this. Versus others who like, and it becomes part of their identity, and when that finally comes crashing down, it hurts.
Yeah. Well, and because you sell under an MLM, we're like, doesn't make you the MLM.
Yeah.
Right. But it can consume, it can be your identity. And that again, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is, you know, it's like any of things, whether it's the church you go to, the club or sports team you support, anything that is allowed to consume your identity, in some cases that will dictate what you can and can't say, like, that's problematic.
Hey, I have a question, and it just came to me, and this is an opinion question, not like a for fact question. Are insurance companies MLMs? Would insurance companies fall under, you know, the definition of multi-level marketing companies?
That's a really good question.
Something to think about.
So, part of me would say no. Just because of the way competition is allowed and the way that you can have like an independent insurance adjuster.
Okay. Yeah.
Not adjuster is the wrong term. That's for the person who comes out after you have a wreck.
Salesperson.
Or agent. It just would have been the easy word to go with. I only say that because I know we have one who was with a particular company for years, and then he wound up he left that company and started being an independent, and will sell from multiple companies, and we followed him.
Yeah.
And the companies will allow that. You know, I can't see some of these companies allowing you to sell openly for both.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
In that same way.
Yeah.
But I think that's an interesting thought.
Yeah. I was just, you know, thinking like, because there are agencies that you have the, you know, what, I don't know what they're called, but, you know, the main person that their face is on the billboard or the sign or whatever. And then they bring insurance agents under them that work for them. Sure. But I don't know how that works. Yeah. Like, do they make a commission off of the person that works, like, bringing it? I don't know. I'm asking these questions, not saying them for fact. That's why I'm asking.
Honestly, I've never thought about it.
Now we're going to have to go do research.
We will, because I can probably fill, like, it probably, just all of the blank space that is on this sheet, I could probably, which there's not much, would consume all of my knowledge of the workings of the insurance company.
Sure, me too.
So
insurance is a wild, wild west agency.
I'm grateful that there are people out there who tell me what to do, and I'm like, yes, please and thank you.
Good people.
I'm glad I can trust y'all, because this all is a different language than I speak.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to dig into that now.
That is an interesting thought.
Sorry, I got us off track.
So I guess part of that, which would make me say no, which is one of the appeals of the MLM, is you get to be your own boss. Whereas even when you're under somebody, you're still a boss, you're still a this, and you've just got a mentor or a coach or something. Whereas no, like, I'm the owner of this company and you work. So that might be a kind of a key difference in that there's not that particular understanding.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
That's a fun little diversion there.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I digress.
So what we're saying, you know, please don't hear us saying that all multi-level marketing companies, all direct sales are bad, because there are some really, really good ones. Dare I say, I think we all know and have had experience with some of them.
Yeah.
But like with all of this stuff, just be careful and be aware and be willing to, again, ask your questions. And if you're not getting your questions answered in a way that's satisfactory, like listen to what's going on inside you, that internal, like, this feels just a little bit off.
Yeah. And I would say too, like anytime that you're being asked to invest time, money, resources of any kind into a company, they better be investing that back into you. Mm-hmm. And if they're not, then maybe you can start asking some of those questions.
Mm-hmm. If it's always just give, and there's no reciprocal relationship there.
If you're the one that's doing all the work and you're not seeing reward from that work, then you might have, some unethical business practices happening. Or at least, at the very least, gross business practices.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I would just say, like, be open-minded enough to be able to ask some questions.
We might have to do a follow-up episode and find one of our friends who's got a little bit more experience in this, just to get them to speak on it a little bit. Because I think it's so interesting, because it feels to me, at least, like this is has been a very pervasive part of our culture in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. Well, and it's an easy way. I mean, again, I sold Disney vacations, and it was an easy way to make some extra money. That we could use for, whatever we needed it for. It wasn't my main source of income, and so I didn't invest just tons of time and money and resources into it. But if it is yours, and it is many people's only source of income, just being aware of, like, what am I investing in? What is my return? And
is this actual income, or do I keep having to invest and I'm not seeing any kind of return on that investment?
Right. Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah.
But I had a great experience with mine. Disney Vacations is not a multi-level marketing, but it is sort of it's a travel agency. You're working for somebody to sell a product to somebody. But I had a great experience. I worked with lovely people, and never felt, used or taken advantage of or weird about something, you know what I mean? Like, I never felt like that at all. I had a great experience with it. So nice. I think there are good companies out there that people have good experiences with and can be successful with too. So
like anything, and we've talked about it so much, is pay attention to the language that's being used, and try to be aware of, like, is this sounding too good to be true?
Yeah. Or are they saying weird phrases that I've never heard in my life, but somehow everybody in this company has, like, adopted them as primary language?
Right.
That's probably a good sign. For sure.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Well, I think we're landing.
We're landing the plane.
We are landing a plane that can be found in so many places. What are some of those places, Brooke?
All the places that you can find podcasts, including where you are listening to us now, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can even watch us on YouTube at Arab First UMC's YouTube page under the Consumed by Grace tab.
Please feel free to drop a comment, especially like if you have some experience with an MLM and would like to share a little bit of wisdom. We would love to hear from you on that. I'd even love to do an episode or two with you, because that could be super, super fun.
I think it would be fun to have some insight from someone who's been in it.
But if this is something that's interesting, feel free to give us a share to someone you might think would enjoy what it is we're doing. Y'all, we're so glad to have you here with us again as you're sitting here listening to us chat it up and go down random rabbit trails.
As we do.
We'll look forward to seeing you again soon.
All right. See you soon.